Hello and welcome back to Rise of the Runelords. We are on session 22 with these wonderful individuals here. Session
That's us.
21. Sometimes session 21 involved a pickup of the last few items from our shopping episode. However, after Dedrin was finished with his dealings in the blacksmithy, he managed to hear and spot some commotion going on at the sawmill, to which he and Artanis asked the sheriff if they could make way into the lumber mill, and being denied, were told that they would be let in, given they are within acceptable company of another three individuals in town, which would happen to be CC Karsrath and Ver.
Hi.
Meeting up and touching faces, the five of you made your way to the lumber mill, to the scene of a quite gruesome murder, with two individuals, one Katrine Vinder, pushed into and minced by the lumber mill log splitter itself, and Benny Harker being torn up and cut through perhaps more direct means. You scoped out the area and found a 7-pointed symbol on Harker's chest, as well as a putrid scent of undeath, as it was discovered, across a few various items. And where we left off was with the group about making its way to the precinct to question Harker's co-worker, as there were two of them that really ran the mill itself. So I will bring us over here.
Oop.
And you have made it quite easily to the precinct. You are outside its gates, and I leave it to you.
I'm walking in that bitch.
I see. Very, very bold.
Sorry, we should probably go in there before before something happens.
Yeah, I'll step inside, see what is going to transpire.
Yeah, I'm definitely following inside as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you actually catch Sheriff Hemlock walking down from one location to another, and sees you all enter, or at least the few of you that do enter, and kind of turns to you. Well, you took a look, I presume.
We did.
Yeah. Yes, we did. we're here to... And she kind of looks over at Dedrin for a second. Looks back in the direction of the voice and says, we're here to talk to the gentleman who got taken into custody.
Sorry for that. Okay, so he hears this and says, right, Ybor, come on down, and he will lead you to and down the stairs. And as you are walking, he says, you might be able to get something out of him that I wasn't able to, but I would ask that you try to keep the interrogation gentle. Thorn's been through a lot in the past few hours, and I will move you. Oops.
Gentle is my middle name.
Yep. Dedrin Gentle.
Yep.
Has he, since he's been detained, is he the prime suspect, or was there another reason why he was brought to the precinct?
Well, we don't particularly have a lot of suspects, to be completely honest. But he worked there. He was there most often besides Harker, so... I guess I should bring along Mr. Baylor. Bam. And he will step to the side and gesture towards the cell to the left.
Okay.
Oh, it's kind of dark. I actually can't tell where the doors are.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. I guess I didn't particularly make it that well. But he undoes or takes the key and opens it up.
That is one bloody man.
Ivor, gonna try to ask you a few more questions, if that's all right.
Step forward to the door.
He will step off to the side.
If the door's open, I'm going in there.
Yep.
Is there an observation room with like a one-way mirror? Do they have that in D&D or Pathfinder?
I'm sure there are multiple versions of such, arcane and not, but this is simplistic in here. This is just a holding cell area.
Okay.
Speaking of, you do note that there are 6 cells in this area, 3 on either side, about 10 by 10 for each.
I see. Thanks. Are the holding cells like just bars or?
Yeah, just bars.
Okay. So he can see all of us right now, and we can see through all of the other cells right now too.
Yeah. There are solid walls in between the cells, but to the hallway is bars. So I suppose you guys could also see another empty chamber to the other side.
Okay.
I gotta crack my knuckles. In real life, I gotta get my mind to the interrogation mindset.
Do it up.
Oh, crack my neck. All right. So I
Oh,
walk in.
nice. Love that.
Walk in. First, his name is Ivor, right?
Yes, Ivor Thorn.
Ivor Thorn. All right. The first question I ask him, I'm not gonna do the voice right now. I ask him to, since we don't have the full recollection, I walk in, I take out like a notepad or whatever, and I ask him to walk us through the day, morning to time of incident.
Much like in his picture, he stares off at the wall and simply says, I've already told everything that I know to the sheriff.
Yes, well, I'm not the sheriff now, am I?
Can I do a little bit of intimidation here? Be like, why aren't you answering his questions? He doesn't care who you've talked to. He hasn't heard it yet.
You may.
There. Nope. 9.
You can ask the sheriff himself what I've told him.
Yeah.
Edrin just like puts his hand to his head like he has a migraine like this. You act nice first, and then you go into the intimidation. This isn't how you do this.
Well, obviously, I'm not very good at this, huh?
All right. Follow-up question would be, were there any discrepancies in the building the day it happened? Did you notice anything odd?
I don't want to talk to you. Figure out what I've said with the sheriff. And he still is not making eye contact.
Hmm. Okay.
I will be right back.
Okay.
Oh, whoops.
You see that he's
I have an
very
idea, but
bloody.
I don't know if I want the sheriff here for it.
Hearing that nothing's going on, Cece's gonna tap her way to the cage and probably actually, yeah, she has her cane, and end up kind of tapping Dedrin, and will lean down and say, "Do you need some help?"
Good question. Do I need some help? I mean, the silence is just me out of game really thinking.
That's fair.
I'm going through my possibilities right now. What's intimidation +7? I got the same on my odds, right?
Yeah, me
If
too.
intimidation is what you want to go with,
I have
there are multiple intimidation.
I could also I could also just shoot them.
Or you could diplomacy.
Yes, you could diplomate, or you could intimidate, or you could something else if you're creative enough.
Right.
Intimidation's a lot. I mean, I have an idea. And I think it's the idea that I want to go with. The problem is there's a lot of people right here. There's a lot of eyes. Alright, so my answer to Cece would be I think I have this covered.
Okay. Call me if you need me. I'm gonna start
Oh,
tapping
that's
my way
good.
down the hallway.
I was just about to shoot Artanis an eye as, like, go deal with the sheriff for a hot second.
I am already on the same wavelength as you, sir. All right, so
still
Artanis
watching.
kind of hearing that, kind of follows up with the sheriff. Is there anything additional, I guess, to curtail some of the conversation that the guards already investigating the scene of the crime have not mentioned to us that you know about, that he's told you?
Baylor would look to the ground and like slide his jaw to the side a little bit, thinking. Well,
I'm back.
I suppose I could tell you what I got out of Ivor. Says he woke up that morning and headed in. The mill was already operational.
Okay.
Says that happens a lot. And found Harker's body. Said he tried to help any way he could, but Harker was already far too gone. Then he came to get us.
I see. And he just ran through the town to the precinct to get you, or?
Yeah, he did. Drew up a crowd before even we got there.
Huh. Okay.
Thankfully, no one else was able to really make their way in. The crowd was still just wondering what was happening. Not a lot of people actually go into the mill.
Alright, I guess that's a good thing. That means the situation is generally contained.
Right.
I suppose we should share with you what we discovered, but our group suspects that whatever hit Harker probably was some form of undead that came from the swamp beyond the water.
I'm gonna roll a sense motive just because that seems to be a little interesting a claim.
Sure.
Wow, with a natural 1. I guess I'll take your word for it. Do you have any evidence of this?
Yeah. I'm not sure if any of your officers have brought in any of the evidence, but you'll see that the weapon presumably used to kill Harker and the other victim has a very distinct decaying stench. CC here was actually the one that discovered that.
Mm-hmm.
At that, Cece will whip around, hearing her name, and kind of catching into the conversation. She's like, yeah, it was pretty intense, and it had been there for quite some time. And the direction that it was heading, they came out of the water to the mill, and then it seemed like it was venturing into town. Has anyone acted off or strange lately? I mean, outside of the recent attacks that the saviors of that the saviors have helped with.
Well, I appreciate the concern, but besides some drunkards, no. Not to my knowledge, at least. And I suppose for you two that have made your way down here, I can... Well, Rotanis, CC is just also over there. I can open up things a little bit, and there's another man in this last cell. Rotanis, if you look in, he is much like his token there. Very angry and just in the corner, being quiet.
Is there anything distinct about his clothing? Anything telling of maybe his socioeconomic status or profession?
That is a pretty easy one for you to deduce. He is not particularly well off. But he's also not in, like, tatters, I suppose. They're common clothes, but they are well-kept common clothes.
Okay. So I'm guessing that while we're in this whole holding cell, we're kind of speaking at a normal volume, and he's probably heard some of what we've said. Is it possible to see if he seems interested in the conversation or just completely disengaged?
That's fair. It looks, in all honesty, whether or not he is listening, he's giving off a very, very nice appearance of not caring. He's focused on his sulk, and that's that.
So he just wants to sulk?
He just looks very angry.
I guess Artanis is slightly distracted and just briefly whispers to the sheriff, "What's his deal?"
This is Vendor. You're welcome to question him as well, but we're pretty sure he has no connection.
Okay. Is there when was he brought in and for what reason?
Brought in because there was a danger to himself and others after the discovery of, well, and he kind of like gestures for you to walk a little bit away from the cell itself, and after hearing about Katrine's death.
Out of a character, that's the woman we found at the mill, right?
Yeah, Katrine Vinder.
Oh
Okay.
no.
I'm gonna whisper back to him. What was the relation? Wife, sister, daughter?
Daughter. One of two.
Oh.
All right. If there's any information regarding the swamp, you can provide our party over there. I think probably our oracle here has a chance of drawing out any useful information out of this man, if any. But I'll make sure she stays protected. Would it be possible to open the cell?
Sure. And he clicks the keys and
Okay. Artanis.
dynamic light barrier gone.
Nice. Artanis offers his arm out to Cece and mentions, "You can hold on to me, and I'll make sure nothing bad happens."
Oh, okay. I guess we're talking to this person now. And she will take your arm and kind of like tap her way in along with you into the cell.
Okay.
While you two have been conversing with Baelor and are interested in Ven, Dedrin, Ver, and perhaps Karzarath, I'd like to hear about what you've been doing with Ybor.
Yeah, I have my game plan. With him being basically unresponsive, I, start prepping. And I just kind of look in his general direction. And I would like to say to him, actually, I had to write this down so I didn't forget my little monologue here. I wrote it in my notes. I look at him and I say, "Now, Ybor, I think you're hiding something from me. I think a man who would be truly innocent of crime would fight harder for his innocence. Someone who could possibly get him free from this cell, you understand? And I would like to try diplomacy and get him to talk from, me encouraging him to talk. I can get you out of here if you just speak to me."
Diplomacy, alright. Gather information, influence attitude, make a request. What are we working with here?
I'm making the request that he speak to me so I can get him out of here and make sure he's innocent. I'm on his team for now, and I'm requesting him to speak with me.
Okay.
Under the pretense that I can help him out here.
Okay.
Yeah, I roll.
You may.
Alright. And if it fails, I know what I'm going into, so fail or succeed, this is fine with me.
So let's say that, and
There
then...
we go.
Not bad.
Okay. So going with make a request. Okay. Ivor is quiet. He listens to you, and he does not shift. But he lifts his eyebrows and he gives a slow look over. And then he says, I am innocent.
You are innocent, Ivor, then fight for it. Tell me what happened. And everything will end up fine for you.
Harker had frequent midnight trysts with Katrine. It wasn't unusual for the mill to be going and for him to be there early. I got there and went upstairs to begin my work and expected at least a bed down for Katrine and Harker, but instead I found Harker on the hooks. I didn't know what to do. I ran up to him, or his body at least. But there was nothing I could do. And that's where he stops. And he, after saying this, looks away again.
See? In character and out of character, I believe him. I don't think there's a need to burn him.
Okay.
As much as I want to, I don't think there's a need right now.
Oh yeah, literally burn him.
Yeah,
Right.
no, literally burn him. Because if that diplomacy failed, I was going full intimidation. Like, I'm gonna carve you up, homie.
You don't want to. You don't want to. You don't want to give him the old sense motive.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Can I do that?
The 2 or 3 that are around, if you are paying attention, may make that check, but certainly Dedrin, Vare potentially, and Karsrath, you sort of just chillin'.
He hasn't really said anything, I assume. Basically, just refusing to talk.
Just rolling 20.
Pretty much.
You
20.
spoke with me. I don't know where you've been.
Yeah, he was doing a speak.
Okay.
Basically, if he has been saying anything besides like refusing to talk, Karsrath would be like listening to sense motive.
Well, that probably means you should probably roll for sense motive.
Yes. I've been taking care of a couple things with the new house.
Right.
Sweet.
Okay.
Were we waiting on another sense motive roll, or?
No, my computer's acting weird. for
Oh.
some reason. I don't know what's going on.
Would you like me to roll for you, or?
I didn't put my sense. Oh, okay. It's my backspace stuck. I think.
Oh,
That happens sometimes. Anyway, information has been given. So, Vera's just chilling.
Yeah, it's cool. I
Oh.
really don't think that I have a bunch.
Welcome
Yeah.
back.
Okay.
Now I can sort of hear you?
Okay, my microphone wasn't working for a
No.
hot second.
Absolutely was not.
That was weird. Okay. Interesting. Okay, this changes things now. Maybe I will burn them. Let's see. I'm looking at my inventory like I have anything that'll help. Alright, well now I'm gonna move into intimidation. I'm just gonna I mean, I'm already on his level, but I'm gonna, like, look at him. I'm gonna get to the point where I'm, like, looking at him dead in the eyes, even if he's trying to avert his gaze.
He will not avert at that point.
And I'm just gonna tell him, now
Yeah, my
I'm
keyboard is straight broken.
Oh, Jesus, dude, you need to fix that.
Yeah, I mean it's just not. I maybe if I unplug it and plug it back in again.
Sometimes that works.
Alright, well, while he's fixing his keyboard,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at Ivor and say, now, Ivor, I wouldn't recommend hiding anything from me if you still wish for this conversation to be friendly. I will help you, but I'm not afraid of getting dirty if it needs to be done.
Fixed.
Excellent. His eyebrows scrunch and his eyes lock on yours. You can hear his teeth slowly chattering as he, like, mulls this information.
You want me to roll intimidation?
No, actually, that is not necessary.
Okay, intriguing.
It is a bit of a freebie. Well, I mean, DC 20 sense motive, but freebie. You just made that sense motive. Okay. Look, Harker has been cooking the books, so to say, for some time. I never took part in the scams, but Harker might have stashed away quite a lot of money by skimming from the top of sales and business over the past years. The lumber mill is owned by the Scarnettis, and they have a reputation for being ruthless. And there are rumors that they're responsible for burning several competing grain mills in the region. After all, I wouldn't put it above the Scarnettis to hire someone to kill Harker if they ever found out he's been embezzling money. Just don't let them know I know about this. I was never a part of it.
Do I need to do another sense motive, or do I get the just to get the basic sense that he's like terrified if I to be a part of this, and he's telling the truth now?
You are welcome to make a check to clarify, but from the outset, it seems fairly certain that this is his deepest information.
Okay. If you're allowing a roll to clarify, I'll do it.
Yes, absolutely.
For the giggles, because why not?
Okay.
This is like rigged in our favor.
Yeah, it's like you can only roll 20s.
And you only have a +4, so you've rolled 16 3 times. All right, whatever. No, you're pretty certain this is the end of his knowledge, and even this is extraneous to the story of what has happened today and through last night. This is his own theories. Well, in addition to the knowledge that he has about Harker embezzling money.
Can you give me if you have a spelling of those mob boss dudes who own the lumber mill, please?
Oh, yeah, I can. The Scarnetti family.
Okay. Scarnetti family. Now that is a mafia name.
Yeah. Maybe they're mobster necromancers.
Oh, God.
You know, that's pretty badass, dude. Can we join them now? Yo.
Alignment
I'll do it.
switch. Let's go.
Okay. I look at Ybor and I say, thank you for this information, Ybor. I will do my best to get you out of the cell. And I kind of pat him on the shoulder and I say, I know a very good lawyer. And I will walk out of the cell.
All right. He does like flinch at the pat, but he lets you do so.
And I will walk to the sheriff and let him know what I've just learned, that Parker was skimming and embezzling some money from the mill, and that he may have had a hit put on.
Well, that certainly sounds a lot more plausible than the undead coming to attack him.
Still think it's those damn undead.
We do have some, and I do the quotation marks, credible evidence that some sort of undead could be involved, but I do believe it would be beneficial to investigate both sources of possible murder. I for one, find myself more interesting in the Scarnetti family than the undead, I should say.
Well, if they got a killer that runs around in bare feet, then perhaps it's him.
And I would ask the good sheriff what he knows of this Scarnetti family, if I can get more information.
I mean, he would be pretty open with you. He would tell you that of the 4 big families within Sandpoint, the Scarnettis are the most notorious noble family. There's a lot of bad stuff that they have done in the name of industry. They often leverage their control on the lumber industry against regional locals.
Interesting. Okay. Of course, a big family would have sway over the lumber industry. They could upsell the lumber for high prices and force everyone to go to them, and anyone that tries going against them ends up murdered in their own lumber mill.
Sleeping with the fishes, see?
But why would they... Ooh, this is getting interesting. Why would they then set up a murder in their own lumber mill of their own workers? He may be embezzling money from them, but why would you do it in your own mill? That's just bad for business.
Really?
I mean, think about it, right? Like, if you owned a store, right, and your workers were pulling some shit you didn't like, would you walk into your own store and gun them down on the spot? That's bad for business. No one's going to go to your store. You got to close.
Right. Exactly.
I still want to talk about. I like playing this character. I get investigative.
You know, there's an actual investigator class.
I do. I just really like shooting people.
There's also a archetype for it called the Iron Hound or something, where you can shoot guns.
Next time.
For show.
But I'm playing a cop, so I'm being investigative.
Mm-hmm.
Like it. Okay. So I'm just talking with the sheriff, learn about the Scarnettis while everyone else is doing their own thing, and I go over my notes.
Vera's gonna be like, so what's closer, the Scarnettis or that swamp where we saw the footprints run back out into?
Ooh, I doubled down on that question with Ver. I want to know where the Scarnettis are, where they find residence.
Well, the Scarnettis are up with the other noble houses up on the bluff on the other side of the bay. It'd be much, much closer to the marsh on the other side of the lake.
All I'm hearing is split the party, bro. We take some folks to the Scarnettis, some folks go into the swamp, right? Like, that's 2 birds, 1 stone.
No, I don't think we should
Split the party?
I do.
Split the party.
I think we could go to both places all together.
I mean, we got some strong folks.
Yeah.
Me and our, this is out of character. Me and Artanis, right? We have the talk and the hurt. We can visit the Scarnettis, me and him, and then the 3 of you can hit up the swamp, and we can all handle our own. Like me and Artanis here, we just be going to talk with folks. You guys might be fighting undead, but still, I think we can all handle our own.
I don't agree.
I think we should. If a bunch of folks can split the party in a high-level pyramid game I'm running and almost died, we can do it here.
All right. Well, while you guys think about that, I'm gonna jump to Cece and Artanis with Ven.
For sure.
All right. So first off, I'm positioning myself kind of in front of Cece, and I'm taking the constant total defense action while I'm
Oh
talking.
my god. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So, Mr. Vendor,
What do you want?
my name's Artanis. This is CC Stonetide. We're investigating the murder of your daughter.
You do see his face twinge, but he doesn't seem to stop you.
We have some information of our own, but any information related to anyone involved in this case may shed light onto what may have transpired here. Perhaps your daughter had mentioned something weird that we just haven't heard about yet.
What, my daughter fucking that boy Harker?
Yeah, like that. I did not know that.
That's nothing new. I've just been trying to figure out how to find real information about it.
Then perhaps we'd be on the same team. CC here, and as well as I, we suspect there's an amount of magic in play here. Would you happen to know anything?
I don't deal with magic. I deal with common goods. Common goods that people need. If you want magic, go talk to the other shops.
And
Sir.
you're welcome to jump in here. Yeah, sorry.
Sir, this situation is much, much worse than any of us ever thought it could be. If you know anything at all, even the smallest amount, it would be very helpful. Whether it was something maybe your daughter did, or even something you suspected, anything's a direction at this point. We want to give your daughter some peace, and give you peace in the process. Please help.
You
Diplomacy roll?
can make a diplomacy, yeah.
Sweet. Hippie. Ah, 16.
16, alright. I am no help to you. I was in my home last night with my wife.
Can I do a sense motive on that
Right.
statement?
Yeah, me too.
Sure.
Go, sense motive, go.
24 and 18, okay. He seems to be less, as far as you can tell, and it seems decently clear. He seems to be less creating an alibi and more frustratingly repeating an alibi.
I see. So he kind of feels like this is what he has to say.
Whether he has to or it is his truth or such.
Okay. I'm gonna. Were CC and I both able to deduce this, or just me with a 24?
Yeah, I mean, CC's a little less sure than you, but you are able to see his facial features and bodily gestures, so that kind of makes sense.
Okay. I'm gonna tell him. Oh, geez, I gotta phrase this correctly. Sir, you want to find out more about this whole catastrophe as we do. Unfortunately, you're tied up here, but we can do something about it, and we want to do something about it. So, I'm not sure if you're trying to delude yourself into believing something else, but we can help.
He closes his eyes and takes a deep breath. And then he looks at you and, in a much more genuine tone, says, Of course, I want to see justice for what happened. And if you can, that would mean a great deal to me. But I'm sorry. I have no information for you.
While he's talking to Artanis, I'd like to do something.
Sure.
Perfect.
So with her hand resting on Artanis's forearm, she kind of starts to draw sigils and starts very gently muttering under her breath. And I want to cast Detect Magic, and I want to see if he has any magical presence on him. I don't know if this is how this spell works, but essentially what I'm trying to figure out is he magical, or did he do any magic recently?
Okay. As far as, well, let's see. Presence or absence of magical auras, number of magical auras, strength and location of each aura. Okay. So, if the aura would last, then yes. Otherwise, you would be aware that most magics fade almost immediately once dispelled or once triggered.
Mm-hmm.
So you are more looking for the current presence of magic.
Okay.
Yep. But you take a look for, you take a look for a couple of seconds, and this is a common man. There is no magic on him.
He's Amish.
Is there any
He's a
within
working man.
Is there any magic within a 60-foot radius?
Is it a 60-foot radius or is it a cone? I guess it is a radius, just 60 feet. Okay. There is not, aside from your partners, you are able to pick up minor magics from like potions and whatnot.
My armor's all glowy.
Your armor is all glowy. I stop like drawing on his forearm and just kind of shake my head, making it look like something happened and I'm kind of fighting it off, but really it's a shake of the head no.
Okay. So he was genuine in saying that he doesn't have any information, correct?
He seemed to be pretty genuine about that.
Okay. All right. I believe you. Do you have any suspicions, maybe? Just unfounded hunches, even.
You see, you see him think for a little bit. And then he just responds with, no. No, I don't.
Okay. Well, I have seen many people in your position, what you're experiencing right now. I've seen a lot of. The sheriff says you were a threat to yourself. What happened?
He, scrunches his face as if remembering a just horrible thought.
Okay.
You would be angry too if you learned that your eldest had died.
Yeah, I would be.
Where did you intend on directing that anger?
It didn't matter. Out.
To yourself or to others?
Didn't have to be others. But if they were there, might as well have been.
Are you feeling not better, but calmer?
I want to go home, yes.
Okay. I'll go see what I can do. I'm familiar. I'm extremely familiar with the laws in a situation like this. So I'll try to get you out of here. That's the least I could do. Okay, Mr. Fender. If you said something, it kind of got cut off.
Oh no, he just makes a small little grunt.
Okay.
I have to ask before we go. What was such what God, how do I want to word this? What was the trigger for the dislike of the relationship that your daughter was in?
I never liked the man. His business was always shady. He always ruined mornings and evenings. And he never came out honestly.
How did he ruin mornings and evenings?
The bloody mill. Louder than a herd of cows getting chased by wolves.
So noise pollution.
He was not not someone I would be proud to marry off to my Katrine.
I see. You have anything else, Cece? I think I'm done here.
Let's see. No, I don't.
Alright. I suppose we should see what
Oops.
progress the others have found.
As we
And
step out and shut the door, I kind of whisper, "I feel so bad for that man losing his daughter, but he doesn't exactly sound at least tremendously remorseful, as I would imagine."
Baylor will see you come out and come up and... So, what is your assessment?
seems like he's just upset. Just lost his daughter. I think probably just going home is the best thing for him right now. He didn't have any suspicions or leads as to who could do it, from what I could tell. So
We were pretty much just gonna let you ask him a few questions, and he was gonna be released anyway.
okay.
Oh, good.
He does actually walk by and just, alright, Ben, we're gonna get you home. Your alibi holds with your wife. He'll stand up and enter the corridor. After you. Baylor gestures to you all. I realize there's not exactly much place to go at this point, but I can bring us back out to the map screen.
Sir, did you find anything else?
Yes, I did. I believe Ebor's telling the truth. I do believe he's innocent, and I believe you have another client there, Artanis.
Oh, okay.
He gave me some interesting information. Harker was embezzling money from the Scarnetti family, the ones who owned the mill.
Oh,
I'll kind of gather the group and say this to them. I wish to speak with the Scarnetti families, and their residents happen to be on the way to the marsh. I believe we shouldn't waste any time. I think me and Artanis here, we can more than well enough talk to the Scarnettis ourselves, and if we do have a murder on the loose, I say the rest of you should head to the swamp and see what you can learn while we speak with the family and see what we can learn.
I don't like it. I think we should stay together.
DM, clear up a understanding for me. When we were at the pier at the end of the game, the footsteps were getting out of the water going into the mill, but there were no traces of undead going back through the water to go to the marsh. Is that right?
Well, the mud came out from the pier and walked inward. However, the residual undead aura didn't particularly have a direction, or it seemed to be multi-directional. So it could be assessed that perhaps it was a way up and way out.
Okay.
Artenis also spotted something in the marsh that you guys want to investigate.
Yeah, I think I spotted a suspicious landing or a spot of land on the other side of the water.
Okay, so then we should go to the Scarnettis first, and then we'll head to the swamp.
Agree, there's a murder on the loose. We should split up and, like, not waste time. 2 folks talk with the Scarnettis, the rest check out the swamp.
Now,
I disagree.
don't-
The town is full of guards. I think it would be more prominent if we stayed together. Plus, if you show up with him, and I point to Karzarath, he's a recognized savior of this town. You're more likely to get an audience.
I'm an officer of the law. I can get audience wherever I want.
You say after being denied to the mill the first time.
Well, now I'm working with them.
But do you have the paperwork? I don't think so.
Yes, I do. What?
He has his own paperwork.
He has his own paperwork, but
I also spoke with the sheriff and got stuff from the sheriff.
did you? Because we have literal paperwork that says that we're working with the sheriff.
Yeah, I'm not walking into this shit blind. I got everything from the sheriff.
well, not taking either side of the decision here, but what time is it right now?
It was about 5:30-ish when we left off, I believe.
Okay,
So-
so it's getting dark,
Yeah,
or is it going to get dark in a few hours?
I'd say about 6:30-ish. It's pretty orange in the sky.
Okay.
You've got a few more hours before dusk.
Okay. On one hand, Dedrin makes logical sense in that time is a precious commodity in a murder case. However, the thing we're pursuing is clearly dangerous.
Very dangerous. Splitting
it-
people in half and shit like that.
It's called running, you big oaf.
No. We all go. We all have roles to fulfill in this investigation party. And we all got to be there for everything.
Well, I don't think you have authority over them, sir. But we'll see what the Scarnetti family has to offer us, and perhaps we'll make it quick.
Take as long as you want. We'll wait outside.
Fine. And I'm smelling his dead weight, and I begin walking off.
I lean over to the person closest to me, and if he hasn't let go of me yet, it's gonna be Artanis, and I may not realize it. And I will say, he's just kind of a stick in the mud, isn't he?
He has a certain way of doing things that's yielded results before. I can't blame him, but you know how things are.
Oh, that wasn't meant for you. And I lean the other direction, probably towards Bear. And I say the same thing to Bear.
For you, sir,
You think?
I'm gonna go follow after Dedrin.
Yeah, I'm
So-
getting on my cart. I'm gonna have Artanis get in the cart, and we're gonna make our way to the Scanettis while the others talk.
Actually, I'm gonna get on my horse and follow.
I shoot it!
Okay. You want to do that? Joking.
I'm waiting for him to say, "I'm just kidding."
I will take Karsrath's hand and follow behind the horse, I guess.
Well, I mean, if you want to, it's a big horse. I'm big though, so.
You are big. Karsrath would more likely fit on that, not me.
I was about to say, if the horse was shot, and he just starts like batting at it, just no sense feeding a dead horse.
God damn it, Michael, get out of chat.
All right, I think
Okay.
Dieter, we are headed towards the Scarnetti.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
We are.
Which would be 48. So this one facing away. Right. Despite the protests of your lovely friend Dedrin, you all collectively make your way up the Lost Coast Road, out from the South Gate, and up Schooner Gulch Road. All the way up to the Scarnetti Manor.
Is there a gate or anything that we have to get past, or do we
You have to
just knock
buzz
on the
in.
door? Yeah.
No, that will not be necessary.
Well, I'll park the car and go knock on the door.
All right.
I'm gonna be a little bit low key with this. I'm gonna, like, not go right up to the cart. I'm gonna park the horse down like an alley or something. Just watch.
Sure. The door eventually opens, Dedrin, and let's move this guy out. And move this guy in. And opening the door is a tall, broad-shouldered man with blonde hair. Looks at you and just says, "What do you want?"
Yes, greetings. I am Officer Dedrin, and this is my associate, Urbanus. We have some questions for the family of this house.
"Officer," he says with a smile on the lips and no change in the eyes. "I am Titus Scarnetti. Welcome to the Scarnetti house." And he will gesture for you and I think Artanis in? Is that who's up in the front?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cece would probably be making her way in behind, whether Karsrath is leading her or Varys tried to stop her. Like, she would want to go in too. So she's just tapping herself up the walkway.
I don't think that's a good idea, Princess.
Shh, I know what I'm doing. I'll be right back. and I hurry past them and I go up the walkway.
Bear sighs deeply. Oh well.
I'm gonna look behind me, and before Titus closes the door, I'm gonna say, "Oh, hold on, we have a subject matter expert coming with us."
Mm-hmm. Very well.
I'm gonna walk up to Cece and not let her just struggle on her way up the steps.
Vera's gonna let out another long sigh.
There's just a loud sigh off in the distance.
And that would be your escort, I presume?
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you talking to Dedrin or me?
Mostly Dedrin, but kind of both of you.
Yes, you know what? Taking laugh and pride in that, Gedrin will smugly smile a bit and say, "You can call them an escort, yes."
Very well. And the three of you make your way in. Karsrath also hanging around with Ver, I presume. And then Titus stands up straight and does a little shuffle with his feet. And what can I do the honors?
Well, I have a few questions. Is it the entire family, or is it a single one of you, Mr. Titus, who owned the lumber mill in town?
The lumber mill is a tradition of the entire Scarnetti family.
And I'm sure you are all well aware of the incident by the mill.
Yes, the Harker Boy incident.
Is there anything that you could possibly provide with me that the others in town could not? Is there any more information you have about this Harker? Was he a good employee? What was the possible going-ons in this lumber mill?
Okay. He does his work with Ybor. Sometimes long days. It gets us a lot of money. Whatever they need to do to get that money in, it's none of my business.
Do you have any enemies, Mr. Scarnetti? Anyone who you would imagine would want to interrupt and bring down your lumber operation?
All of the noble families are at war with each other. The Valdemars despise us. It is impossible to be a noble family without enemies.
Do you know if any of these other families had any business around your lumber mill? Do you think any of them would dare, commit a crime against your workers?
No, I do say they would understand the repercussions of getting in the way of business as we do theirs. Anything on the open market is fair game, but under the table is not looked upon very well.
How well did you know Parker and Ybor and the folks who worked in your mill?
I knew them well enough to trust them with my mill. To trust them to keep it running.
Is it possible to do a sense motive on that to see if there's like any partial truth or white lie in there?
Yeah, of course.
I would like to join and see if I can keep my streak up of nothing but 20s, dirty 20s.
Hacks.
Don't forget your guidance.
Yes.
Add +1 to that
Alright.
if you want to.
Nope. Dang. But that's still a flat number. That's wild.
Yeah, that is kind of wild.
I think I'll keep my guidance.
I've been
I
getting
probably would have
nothing
done
but
it if
flat
it was
numbers.
a 24. But yeah, I'll keep the 23, and I'll keep guidance for another check if possible.
Okay. A 10 doesn't seem to rustle too much. Doesn't seem to be. This seems like a quite confident man, just overall. It's hard to particularly tell. 14, I would also say, is fairly.
That's because we're down the street, Karzrath.
You can't see shit, you're outside.
I don't know, Karzrath might be like just below a windowsill at this point. I wouldn't put it against him.
He's just a little bit too tall.
Yeah. Doesn't
Um,
hurt to have ears on the outside.
Right.
14 is also pretty much just the assessment of Titus is a very self-important and confident man. A 23. Okay, you are listening out for subtexts and like watching his face as it gesticulates. And you can pretty clearly hear that he may be going for the broader strokes, but the fine print is not particularly important. He might know where they stash their lunches or so in the lumber mill while they're doing their work, but that's not really an important thing to bring up or something of along that line.
Okay, so it's not like I'll give the diplomatic answer so they don't ask about X and Y or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's just more like, yeah, everything's good, nothing really matters in this scenario.
Well, Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I might have missed it. I was trying to listen, but was it established that this guy was the one that is running the mill, or is it possible that there is somebody else in this household that actively manages the mill?
I suppose it is possible. The entire family is associated with running the mill. Titus just seems to be pretty upfront about it.
Okay. I guess I'll kind of signal to Dedrin. Yeah, that seems to check out.
All I know.
Sorry.
Oh. All I
I'll let you
know
go.
is that he was a hard worker. If nothing else, then to get more money coming in. And I suppose that got to him. But I do not have any say in his work ethic.
Got to him? As in, what do you mean
Well,
got to him? He was a...
Admittedly, I'd think his heart would give up first, but clearly he was attacked.
I know you have you and your family have your own enemies, Mr. Scarnetti. Do you know if Harker had any of his own, perhaps? Anyone who would wish him harm?
I'm sure Ven certainly did.
While they're having this conversation, Artanis would feel similar drawings again on his forearm as I end up casting Detect Magic again as we're standing in the lobby area.
And what is she doing?
Good point. You can't just openly cast magic without someone recognizing it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't have that ability.
That is vocal and somatic.
Well, if Cardrath isn't there, we would point out that she's blind and she uses this to see.
Karsrath from outside the window?
He would, if he was inside. I'm saying, like, if he would have gone inside.
Right.
Did you want to come inside?
Yeah.
Oh, did we skip you?
You never really
was
said
a-
you. I
Yeah,
just.
he never
Yeah,
I'm
said-
waiting. I'm waiting outside, and like,
Let's just call it Karsrath outside. You can be as close as you'd like to the building, but
yelling
Karsrath
through
will
the
be
door-
outside.
The window.
Okay, so you're kind of just shouting through the window, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, he's kind of just like, if he like looks at the window, he's kind of like hanging from the windowsill
Okay.
or something.
From
I'm
some
trying to
gathered
see
light.
where
I-
everyone is.
I just look at Titus and I say, I look at CC, I look at Karsras being a creep in the window, being a pervert in the window.
Perving it.
Yeah, and I say, I apologize for these two. I can assure you they don't mean to bring any ill towards your family, yourself, or your home.
You may have noticed, but this girl is blind, so she may have to cast spells to be able to sense things the way we sense things.
Yes, all right. And speaking of such, yes, you do detect magic around you, following which there are a couple, and then once you are able to narrow down there is some magic around his torso and around his neck. But that is what you find.
Can I do an Arcana check to? Oh no, I'm not proficient in Arcana.
Oh,
Because if I rolled an Arcana check, then I can try to determine the
right.
school of magic.
Good old knowledges in Pathfinder.
Yeah. No, I think that's pretty specific to knowledge arcana.
Yeah. It totally is.
All right. Well, it seems like uh we have detected some magic on him, but uh there's probably no indicator to Dedrin and Artanis, right, that anything is amiss, right?
Not in particular.
Okay.
Titus doesn't seem to be particularly bothered that a greedy workaholic man is dead. I guess he'll just have to go find someone else to work his mill. But no, it doesn't really seem particularly out there.
Titus, is there anyone else in your household that regularly checks the affairs of the mill?
No, my cousin does check paperwork, but I mostly am running mill supervision, as you might say.
I see. Is that something that I would have to sense motive for, or does that kinda carry from the previous one? Same vibe.
No, he's being pretty honest about that.
Okay. Alright. Well, it seems like Titus has been very forthcoming with what he knows regarding the mill, regardless of how he sees the current employment situation in particular. It doesn't seem like there's anything amiss, sir.
You've got your answers. Now, you may leave.
I was kind of gesturing to Dedrin if he wanted to follow up on anything.
I have a follow-up, but you'll know what I mean when I say this. With our two backstories, I really want to do something,
Okay.
but it's so screwy. It could bite me in the ass, but I so badly want to do it.
Oh. Okay. This might bite me in the ass, but I need to remain honest to my role play. Does this guy look like he recognizes my thing?
Ugh.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. I guess you can give me a sense motive check on whether you notice that he notices, or perception. Either one's fine.
Can I roll a perception? Because if he knows, this may supercharge my plan.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's not a flat number, I'm sad. I mean, it kind of is. No, it's not 10 or something.
It's an even number.
Yeah, Artanis, he recognizes the sigil. He's mostly been addressing Dedrin the entire time.
Right.
Dedrin, you're not sure.
I'm gonna kinda shoot this look at Dedrin. It's like, yeah, he knows. Kinda like the same look he's probably seen like a dozen times.
Man.
Man?
Man, can I confer with my backstory partner through text real quick before I possibly ruin everything with my plan?
Oh God.
Shit, okay, here we go.
I'm gonna message you on Discord.
The longest 6 seconds ever.
Yeah, I just like I have a plan. Like other
It's
things
all
can
good.
happen if we want to go outside. It's just I have a idea, but I don't want to fuck people over.
Go on. You won't fuck me over. I'm not in there.
Yeah, Ver is waiting at the crossroads,
Yep.
pretty much.
Anything interesting going on at the crossroads?
Not a lot of traffic goes on out here. I suppose over the time you have seen some servants moving around at this manor.
I'm taking this time to brush Hope.
Hope very much appreciates it.
Good girl. I also give her a carrot.
Hope will take it with celerity.
I'm sure. Munch, munch, munch. She goes. Happily.
I'm sorry about this, guys. I just need to figure out my plan.
No worries, man. I'm just brushing my horse. Look at my horse.
Oh, that's old.
Yeah.
The
Well,
part where he gets kidnapped.
Well, I'm old, so.
I guess that's YouTube old. It's not really old.
Right. But I'm still old.
How's the weather where you guys are living?
It's pretty damn hot, and I don't really like it all that much.
It always changes.
At the
It's
moment?
been hot, been cool, been stormy and rainy and cloudy, and then not.
Yeah.
Goes through a lot of things here.
Yep.
You live in a very
Remind me where you're
bipolar
from?
state, Peter.
That was directed towards Cece.
Oh, yes.
You live in a very bipolar state where it just can't make up its mind.
Yeah,
Although Washington has its moments. Probably nothing like that, though.
yeah.
Though I will argue that snow in April was pretty weird.
Yeah.
We're going forward.
All right,
Plan.
here we go.
Oh,
Alright.
no. All right, go ahead.
All right, it's going
Okay.
down. It's going down.
Okay, so first I'm going to tell Titus, like just one more moment. Let me confer with my associates real quick, and then blah 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 blah. And so I pulled the other two in the back and like do a huddle, and I whisper my plan to Artanis, and I tell him just like take CC to like the front door. I'm going to speak with Titus about some things myself, one-on-one.
All right. Perhaps he has an office or something. We can just hang out here in the lobby.
And
This guy sounds like he probably has 2 offices in this estate alone.
probably has like 5.
Right.
I will turn break huddle break. I will turn back.
Before you do that, I'm gonna whisper to Cece. Cece, can you cast guidance on Dedrin?
Would he let me touch him? Last time he wasn't very keen on that.
While we're still in the huddle, Dedrin, would you like some
But-
assistance?
Do it.
Do it.
Just
Give it
the
to me
first, the first
3
time he's ever,
times.
the first time
Right?
he's ever been excited in his entire life. He's like, yes, Dungeon.
Right?
Yeah, I will give.
Dungeon.
I will give Dungeon. I will give Dedrin guidance. Yeah.
Shades
Okay.
of the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
All right, this is good. This is good. Everything's working out. All right, I will turn back to Mr. Titus Scarnetti, and I would like to. I will ask him if he doesn't mind just some further questions, possibly in his office, while my 2 associates confer with each other. I would like to speak to him one-on-one.
Yes, of course. They may confer with each other on the porch. Come.
There you go.
And he will almost immediately start escorting you into another room.
Okay. I'm gonna get my throat slit.
Scream really loud if you need help.
And you
Holy
wanted to
crap.
do this all by yourself.
I
We should
did,
have
yeah.
let him. We should have let him.
Yeah. I would have made a third character.
I'm confident in my plan. This is gonna work.
All right. Well,
Okay.
let's see.
So we're escorted to another room, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll sit down if he sits down. Otherwise, are we standing? I guess.
He remains standing.
Okay.
Gives a small sigh of relief. No offense to your associate, but I prefer not having him around.
That is very understandable. However, I would like to bring a business proposition to you, Mr. Scarnetti, that may involve my associate. I think it would do both of us very well.
You must understand that we deal with a lot of business here. I may very well reject yours. But, go on.
You see, me and my associate, we aren't like your run-of-the-mill god of Sandpoint. We have special skills, and we are special investigators, if you will. My proposition is you aid us in funding our investigations, in our weaponry even, and me and my associate are offering our full assistance in the investigations of the other families, and perhaps even putting your family in power over them. I understand they are great enemies of yours, and I personally believe that it would suit you well to have a officer of the law in your pocket, don't you think?
Titus smiles and chuckles a bit. That is an interesting acquisition you have for me. I find it a bit humorous that you do not believe that I already do.
I'm certain you do have some of the guard under your pocket, I will not deny that, but they are not like me and my associate. Unlike the other guards of the town, we aren't locked to one office. We aren't locked to the sheriff. We have no relation.
Hmm.
We operate on our own, and I do believe that an agreement here would benefit both of us, as you wouldn't have to worry about the local law getting caught, if you will, by the sheriff himself.
That is interesting indeed. I will have to think on it.
I do hope we can come to an agreement, Mr. Scarnetti. I believe, as I've said, it will benefit both of us. If you decide on taking up this offer, me and my associate are staying in town. It won't be hard to find us.
Yes, I can see. If we are done here,
I believe we are. Thank you for your time.
I may send for you in the near future.
I will bid him farewell.
And he will, with gentle persuasion, escort you all out of the manor.
What time do we have?
It was about 6:30. Let's call it maybe a quarter after 7 at most.
So it's dark?
No.
15 minutes?
Let's call it sundown at 8:30.
Alright, so we've got some time. So we can follow up on the marsh now if we want. What does everyone think? Titus Garnetti didn't seem to yield any significant leads.
I see. So do we want to go at this while we're going sundown? Like getting close at least? Twilight?
Is it Twilight?
It's close-ish.
Is
I mean,
it
it's like
close-ish?
6:30. It's not like it's not. In 2 hours. So,
I don't know. It's always dark for me.
right.
I think I still hold to. I still hold to. We don't waste time, and despite having dying daylight, I still think we should investigate. It is a murder case, after all.
Okay. Well,
Right.
I
Yep.
mean-
As long as we're all going, I'm down. Let's go.
okay.
Like
We,
taking a night's rest and taking the day makes a big difference in a murder case. Like,
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
okay.
Jump up on Hope and follow.
So, I'm assuming Michael's also on board. He hasn't said he's back yet, so I don't want to kind of like drop this on him.
All right. Well, we will at least get you all back to the Rusty Dragon.
Okay.
And so it's up. We're going up near Mill Pond, right?
Yes. 25 is the
Yep.
mill, and so the mill pond, and the darker area is the marsh.
Cool. So I'm gonna leave Hope at the inn. Leave her with the stable boy, and go on foot
Right.
into the marsh. I saw a never-ending story. Damn it!
I watched Legend.
Right? Horses fucking hate mud, dude.
As previously mentioned, there is the Tanner's Bridge that you could cross to get better access.
Oh, does it lead over in that specific direction? I thought. Okay, so
I mean, it's a bit
Okay.
wider of an arc than going across the pond, but
Yeah, I think this is where we were kind of looking at. Like, this is the spot that I was looking at, right, Dieter?
pretty much.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Can-
still don't want to take my horse into that situation if there's undead.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
I
so
agree, but
we would
I think we should go around.
like this, right? Up here.
Yeah.
yeah, that looks
Yeah.
like the best way to go.
Being a blind girl on a boat does not sound fun.
Right. Well, I was figuring we could go up, across Sandpoint Bridge and head up through there, but it would be just easier terrain probably just to keep to the streets.
Right. Yeah.
So I agree with that.
Yeah,
Let's
this
go.
is some heavy brush
Yeah.
and trees.
Yeah. I was just looking at the closest one, but so anyway, yeah, probably head up River Street till we get to Undercliff Way. Hang a right. Wow.
That's it.
Yep.
Does this sound acceptable to you, officer?
This is the marsh, right?
No, it's up here.
No.
I think it's up
That
here.
that is a nearby woods. The marsh is the cloudy part of the mill pond,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
and this is where you were walking along.
Right. I blanked for a hot second. I was writing stuff into my notes.
That's
Oh, no,
okay.
yeah, you're good. But it seems like we kind of have a plan to kind of walk this way since the terrain is clearer.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. All right.
I think I'll bring the cart to the edge of this bridge and then park it there.
That makes
While
sense.
we're walking, though, I'll be right back. I have to use the bathroom.
Okay. Do we want to take a short?
Yeah.
10-minute break.
That would be
break.
good. And we can also get Karsrath back hopefully by then too.
Okay.
Perfect. All right.
All right.
Be
See you in
back
10.
in a few. Go.
All right. So, after coming back from the Scarnettis, learning no more than Harker was a hard worker, if not a little selfish of a worker. You all were planning on making your way across the Tanner Bridge and towards the marsh on the other side of the mill pond, as there were some interesting locations. Any conversation on the way there?
I guess Vare's just gonna talk about how in debt he is. Man, he's poor. I'm poor. Y'all hear it? I'm poor.
What a
Oh my
smooth
God.
way to bring it up.
Well, he's pissed
Casual.
off about it,
That's fair. That's fair.
and he's not even getting the use of what he's in debt for.
Okay, well, this is a smooth transition into this conversation.
Certainly.
I'm smooth. Damn
Yeah.
smooth.
Well then, Dedrin would honestly, Dedrin would call you over to the driver's side of his cart while they're riding,
I'll go on over.
and then honestly, like the offer would be, hey, I'll buy your debt. I'll get you that sword. I'll buy your debt. I got you, homie. But I want to make sure that, you know, like with a wink and a nudge, like that I got your back, or you have my back, that I can count on you, and, you know, you got me. Like, I'll buy this. I got you. I just need full faith what the fuck is the word I'm looking for? Confirmation.
Confirmation,
that
indeed.
you got me.
Okay, I got you. You drop this money, and I got you. As long as you don't point me towards anybody that's not evil.
I give him a wink, and I'm like, I got you.
All right.
Turn it around to the enchantment place.
Skirt.
Tokyo Drift.
Isn't time of the essence?
Yeah, let's do it after this. She's right. We need to finish this off. Let's go. About to be dark.
Fair. But I need my big man armed, so we're going there immediately.
I'm still armed. He passed his
As-
old
as-
sword.
As soon as we got the chance, we go there immediately. I need my big man in tip-top shape.
All right.
What
You're
just
gonna have him.
happened? Cece just sounds really confused as she's walking.
None of your business.
I have no idea. The cars are staring at them as they go.
Alright,
Might
you
as well be scripted.
make your way on up to the cliff above Tanner's, well, adjoined to Tanner's Bridge, as you make this spontaneous and previously undiscussed conversation with each other. And well, yeah. And make your way to the other side.
So we're by the marsh now. Yes.
Yes, you are by the marsh and the surrounding lands.
I would park the cart at the edge of this side of the bridge and then go on foot with our tents.
Oh, sure. Yeah, okay. Y'all are on foot at this point. Sounds good.
I know Artanis saw the statue or whatever, the opening in the marsh, so lead the way, homie.
That's a good point. I guess I'd start walking towards the location of interest that you pointed out to us, Dieter.
Right. I suppose I'll sort of front you in this.
Oh,
Sort of.
Officer, what's my restriction level?
Hmm. Yeah, you can use the newspaper. I'll allow it.
Okay.
We're walking into monstrous territory. Dedrin would allow full weaponry.
That's restriction level 4. Alright, here we go. I have my newspaper out.
Excellent.
Listen, I have ways to shut you down, so you know what I'm saying? Like, we're walking towards possible undead, so might as well have my homie with his weapons out.
Those flies will never stand a
Yep.
chance.
Alright. Well, you are looking around. You find the, general location, but of course, looking from the outside is much different than looking within. Things are in different locations. So, if I could have a perception check to find the spot. And plus 3, 24. Okay, 24. Yes. Just a little, just a little ways out. Artanis, you notice once again, there is a relatively dry spot. It's not land per se, but it is drier. It does get washed from time to time. And now that you're much closer, you can notice that there are a number of barefoot human tracks, as well as the lingering stink of rotting flesh that once that you all detected from the lumber mill itself.
It looks like we found the continuation of those tracks over here. Shall we see where they go?
Yes. Dedrin's gonna unclip the his holster, so he has
Ooh.
free access to his pistol.
Ooh. Alright, anyone who wants to follow or inspect the footprints may make a survival check.
Would love to.
Okay. Is Ver concerned with following the tracks?
Well, I reckon that maybe other people have. Man, I'll roll her. I'll roll them.
Watch you crit.
No, I did
Alright,
not.
two
in fact,
11s, two 19s, and a 23.
Bear has a very good understanding of his role in this party,
Right.
and he is happy with that. I am happy with that. As long
Yeah.
as he is fulfilled and happy, I am fulfilled and happy.
Is- you just give me a great sword and let me swing it around a little bit.
So,
Good to go.
let's give some stuff to Dedrin and Ver. With 11s, it's hard to track the foot traffic here. However, you two are aware as exactly they're not tracks because they're not being tracked.
Trackable.
As your perception is far less honed in on the tracks, you are able to notice the surroundings a little more. And what you sort of notice is that this spot is fairly hidden by several low banks of nettles, but it does offer a perfect view of the mill to anyone who would choose to hide there. And that is pretty much as far as you two can get. Artanis and Karzarath, before Cece comes in and starts ruining the marshy soil with her tracing fingers. What you notice is that what's revealed to you is the tracks, the footprints. They lead from and to the pond. However, never away from the site. They are contained here.
Wait, so you're saying that everything comes from the pond and not from this marsh on the other side of the pond?
What I'm saying is that there are two unconnected paths in the same area. Like, one footpath is going into the pond, and another footpath is coming out of the pond. They do not link up, so it was not a little cycle or anything. It was one path in, one path out, but it stops. That is as far as you are able to notice, because there are no further tracks.
Okay. I'm guessing I can tell which path is the path in and which one's the path out because of the direction of the footprints?
Yes, correct.
Okay. I follow you now. I will lead the way. Following these footprints as far as we can go before losing track of them.
Yeah, and that you do.
I'm sorry, was there more or
No, unfortunately.
Okay. So the tracks stop at the water's edge, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
like they go into the water and they come out of the water. They come relatively to this spot, and then they just vanish.
Okay. I'm gonna tell everyone it looks like that whatever is going in there seems to be originating from in there in the first place, possibly. But if we're gonna continue following these tracks, we're gonna need to submerge ourselves a little bit. Anyone opposed to this, or do you want to follow me from the coast?
Let's I'm not opposed to it.
Okay.
Well, unfortunately, I'm carrying a crap ton of black powder,
So then you
And
can
so-
provide some support from the.
and so I'll be eyes above.
Okay. Perhaps.
Good call. Don't get blowed up.
Perhaps you and Karzarath would be well off providing support from the coast.
Nothing suspicious now. I'll try to swallow them up here.
Cece, what do you want to do?
It would probably be best if I went with you guys. Give me just a second, and I would like to again cast detect magic.
Sure.
I detect a cat. Meow.
Yeah. All right. With your detect magic, you are unable to find any new auras.
Okay. That's
I'm just
somewhat
all
of good.
sparkly.
There's well, that's somewhat of a good sign. There's no new magic at this point, so I'm gonna probably stay in between you two. And
Float on the surface of the water? What's in between water and land?
no, in between the two of them.
Oh,
Like-
I thought
They're
something
in
completely
Artanis.
different. Okay. I got a really funny, different picture. Like you're just gonna float on the top of the water? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna float and just face up towards the sky, and you guys can just push me along. It's fine.
So, I guess just checking, wielding my makeshift newspaper weapon,
It's gonna get soggy.
it's gonna get soggy, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Very much so.
I'm gonna stow that. I'm gonna humbly request from Dedrin to authorize a different restriction level that lets me use a waterproof weapon.
Cece
Oh,
would,
right.
Cece would hold up her cane.
I'll.
Oh, did your... Hey, Cece, by the way, did you... When was your sword cane supposed to be ready?
Tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Can't wait to see that.
I'm excited too. But for now, I have this cane here. It's pretty durable. It's got me from my hometown to here. Could probably provide some support if you wanted to hit somebody with it, and she'll offer it to Artanis.
Oh, I appreciate that, but I've got this, and I am going to. Yep. That's good enough. So, I'm gonna hit a little latch on the saw-like mechanism at my hip, and furl it out, and the saw will unhinge and form a improvised sawtooth blade.
Okay.
What is Vare's reaction to this?
He raises an eyebrow.
You say anything?
That's actually pretty cool looking, is what he might say.
Well,
Thank
okay.
you.
He's a little bit impressed.
I just made it.
Wait,
Anyway.
it said level 2. I thought level 2 was horseshoe brass knuckles. That's what we wrote, wasn't it?
No,
That's what you wrote?
was it?
Yeah, level 2 is horseshoe knucks.
Oh, okay. I can whip those out instead. I've made that mistake. I was working
like-
that backwards.
I was like, wait
Just-
a minute. What?
Just, oh, sorry, guys. Puts away thing, pulls out dinky little
It actually
horseshoes.
Yeah, I pull out my horseshoes.
Oh,
My
well,
mistake,
that's not
officer.
very impressive.
Oh, well, it sounded like you had something that was cool, but I hope whatever you have now is okay. My cane is here if you need it.
All right. Going forward, I should put a little note on my weapons and attacks. This is level 2. This is level 3.
Okay. What the hell kind... I guess I... You can't just ask somebody what class they are. Any rate.
You sweet newspaper. Okay, I remember now. I forgot about unarmed strikes.
Yeah, we probably need to discuss that a bit further later.
Nah, you were in the right. I just forgot my own thing. Okay, so I'm gonna
You got
wade
ahead of
into the
yourself.
water. I got ahead of myself. I got excited. So I'm gonna wade into the water with my horseshoes.
All right. Artanis, you wade into the water
Wading into the water? Why are we?
as it begins to get dark and
Oh,
the
fucking
sun
balls.
is almost set, and you follow what you would imagine is a path from here to the dock on the other side.
Oh, I'm gonna use one of my 3 uses of the light cantrip, and I'm gonna cast it on my horseshoe,
All right.
and I'm gonna kind of look underwater. While
Alright.
I'm doing that to kind of keep an eye out.
I'm following behind Otanis.
Go ahead, Artanis, and make a perception check. It's through a bit of murky water, so I'm going to make that a -4. Not that it's a huge deal for you.
Okay, understandable.
So I guess a -1 from what you get. 32. Sure.
Oh no!
Jesus.
Darn.
You actually wanted a lower number.
Yep. It's a reverse Pathfind. Classic.
Half lost.
Okay.
Classic.
32. The waters, albeit a bit cold, are not super uncomfortable to you. The mushy clay bottom is a little difficult to walk through. And you are waving your horseshoe around under the water, able to see clearly some kelp or seaweed or just other water flora, and some thick muds across. However, with a 32, you don't seem to see too much else other than marsh as you are wading your way across.
I mean, would a 35 have made a difference? We didn't include the +3, but I'm only gonna mention it if it matters.
Well, yeah, that's why I made it a -1, because it would be -4 plus 3.
Got it. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So I just noticed marsh, but I don't see the footprints continue towards the mill, or.
Well, you can see what may be a pathway through. It kind of swerves a little bit in and around the kelp and such, but the murky waters seem to reclaim its natural state, and foot traffic would not really remain underneath the waves here.
Okay.
But with the 32, you can see that there is certainly a potential path to get from here to at least halfway across the pond, at least through the marsh section of this.
Okay.
You're just not sure if that's what was taken, and you have no evidence, no real evidence that there are footpath there.
Okay. Would I be able to pick up a... Oh, wait, hold on. Is this concentration? No, it's not concentration. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna pick up a rock and kind of... if I see another potential path heading up to the dock, I'm gonna toss the rock in that direction to see if I can see another path illuminate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another light cantrip. So, do I find any alternatives?
I would say it is reasonable for there to be 2 or 3 alternative pathways. It's not so dense that it would confine you to a single path. It seems naturally there could be a couple of pathways. We'll set it at. You notice 2 additional pathways through this marshy area.
Okay. And what direction are they kind of branching off to?
Both of them sort of veer right a bit more before working their way a little bit. I mean, working their way back towards the dock.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna tell the others because we didn't find anything else, right?
No, you found found a good lookout spot and some foot traffic. Two separate paths of foot traffic that go into and out of the pond. I should say one in, one out, and then a vanishing prince. But yeah, that's everything.
Okay. I'm gonna signal to Dedrin that it doesn't seem like there's anything dangerous in here, and I'm gonna start making my way back out.
Okay. Roll a reflex save. No.
Dun dun dun.
As you get dragged under. No. You make your way back out.
Okay, and I guess the next order of business would be to follow the track setting out.
Yep. I will join him now that he's not getting into the water.
You have already scoped out the tracks getting out of the water.
Oh, okay. So, wait. So we have a full picture of all the tracks then?
Yes.
Oh.
They are two independent tracks that I am giving you. With one starts roughly in the middle of this area and heads into the marsh towards the lumber mill, and the other set of footprints comes out of the marsh to roughly this area. Both of the first one does not really seem to have a start. It seems to have a vanishing start, and the second has a vanishing end. So they aren't connected. It seems the origin is, as far as you can tell, as far as like the foot traffic placement, the origin should be here, but whether by maybe flight or incorporealness or teleportation or something, something has disturbed the continuation of these tracks.
Got it. Okay. I'm gonna inform everybody. All right. Well, whatever was here starts right there, and it ends right there. So whether or not it's some sort of conjuration that just vanished, or it was able to somehow disappear, I'm uncertain. And I'm not sure if there's anything else in the area. There's no other tracks, right, Dieter?
Nope. No other tracks.
I followed Artanis into the water. Can I have done detect magic during the time that we were walking?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so I just followed behind him and I just basically kept casting this over and over again to see if I got any pings.
Hold on. Let me check.
You got that right, Pi. So if I'm gonna kind of extrapolate this and make sense of it, in a hypothetical situation, somebody conjured uh, an entity, and the entity spawned in one spot in the marsh, right? Then it walked into the water, up into the mill, did its thing, walked back into the water, and from the water into the marsh, and then it disappeared. And that's what the track seemed to indicate.
Okay, so marsh, mill, back to the marsh.
Yes.
Disappeary.
But it seemed to be all of one track. Like, walk back there, walked into the mill, and then walk back, same footprints.
They are the same kind of barefoot footprints, right? Peter?
Okay.
Yeah. You would be able to tell they are the same size, barefoot human footprints.
Okay.
Alright, so then we're working with a single murderer. At least that's what it seems.
And
Yeah.
he's got somebody backing him up too. They can either cast magic or
Yeah.
just recall their slave.
Hmm.
This is
Ponderousness.
interesting. Let us ponder the orb. What does the orb tell you there?
You do actually find a bit of magic stuck in the murky marsh below you, CC.
Snap.
Okay. So as Artanis starts back, Cece does not. She's heading towards that magic.
Sure.
Karzrath will follow. DC.
You're up on the lookout point.
I mean, unless you're not covering them
You
with
could be in
range, you
flight.
could be going with.
Yeah, I will be covering with range. Sorry. I stepped
Okay.
away for a moment at a part where they were doing deliberations of where people were.
Right.
Where are you going, Cece?
There's a thing over here. Magic. I found it. I
Wait,
may have
how-
found something, but
Okay.
it's this way.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay.
Back to magic.
I'm just letting her lead
So
me.
good.
Yeah, sure. So you make your way over about 15-ish feet or so, and CC is like very sure that under the muck in here somewhere is something magical, something
Here, it's around here.
transmutation.
It's here. It's
careful.
around here. I'm not sure what's. I can't pinpoint it. But just can you start digging around? And I start like poking with my
Okay.
with my cane.
I guess
I'll
I'm
know
keeping
when you
my-
find it. You'll pick it up and it'll get stronger.
Okay. Now I'm nervous. I'm just picking aside dirt.
All right.
Watch the people in the water go, yeah. That's
Someone grabs your foot.
Now we
what
get
do
yeeted under.
What do I even roll for this?
Kind of half expecting it.
I guess because you're using your feet to feel things, roll a survival check to just sort of feel around, I guess.
I mean,
So what I just imagined was Karzrath on the lookout point, and he's kicking around the water, just disappears, and like, well, kind of saw that one coming.
A 9. All right. You don't feel too much. You feel a couple rocks and you like bring it up. But then they're rocks, and so you go back to searching.
No, not that. Can I try a survival?
Yeah, you can do that. I'll give you a never mind. You don't need a bonus.
well,
you
she sees the magic, so it would be.
you do see the magic, and you immediately go for it and like sort of monkey grab it in between your big toe and the rest of your toes and pull it up, and it is a small glass vial looks kind of like a Erlenmeyer flask, the triangular flasks.
Oh shit!
Um,
Nice find.
it is capped and it has some solution in it.
Huh. I wonder what this is. It's like a bottle. Put it next to my ear and I shake it. It's got stuff in it. And it's magical.
Okay. Well,
Huzzah!
your magic senses found something interesting. I'm glad it didn't attack us, but we should probably get back to land. We need to retrace our steps and figure out what we're missing here. You good to go?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I really
Okay.
can't think of anything else to do out here. So let's go back.
Okay. I guess fast forwarding back to the shore. Does anyone remember any details that were missing?
What could we have possibly missed? We fully checked the mill, right?
Yeah, they especially knocked out all of the presence of anything we might have done to track them. So I don't. There's got to be something we're missing.
I will
I agree
say
with
Only
you
thing
were
that I can think of that we may have missed, or we probably should follow up on, is the insignia that was on the guy.
Yeah, the 7-pointed star.
The 7-pointed star. Perhaps we should inquire around about that.
Yeah. There isn't like. I wonder if there's a library in this place. Maybe research might do the trick.
We know somebody who's working at a library right now.
Holy shit. Alright. I mean,
Well,
that
then we'd
sounds
better
like
make contact with him. That'd probably be a good thing to do.
Alright. I suppose we have a plan going forward. The sun's getting low anyway.
Yeah.
Should
I do
we...
I do think we should check one particular place before we go, and honestly, doing it at night may be the best time to do it.
Interesting.
All right.
I think.
Well,
I think
let's
we should check
let's
a
go do that.
graveyard.
Very well.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
I mean, it's along the way anyway, basically.
When you're thinking it's the dead, sometimes it's just best to go to the cemetery. I agree. Onward!
In doubt, cemetery it out, right?
Right? It's true. My grandpappy used to say that all the time.
right. Well, as it as twilight approaches, you make your way up and around the cathedral into the boneyard. You start to hear the crickets chirp, and the sky goes dim and blue, and you are within the boneyard.
So what are we talking here? Rows? What, like bunch of different like sepulchers and tombs and graves?
There are a few mausoleum areas, but otherwise it is relatively sort of organic rows of gravestones.
I see. Interesting.
I suppose let's make our way towards the mausoleum that's been robbed.
Oh,
Sure.
As we're going, I'm casting detect magic, and I'm keeping it going as we're walking. So even if that puts me at a slower pace, I'm still doing it.
No. If you were running, I would have to make you slower, but a simple walk without weather, you are totally fine to keep up.
Cool.
And you all make your way. I don't remember which one. I think this one, this rock-looking texture here, having I think 15 by 15 interior. CC.
Mm-hmm.
As you are walking through, there is no indication of magic within the area.
Okay, that's good to know. There's like
Yes.
there's like a very visual like relief across her face as we're going through the cemetery of not finding any magic. Like, oh thank goodness.
oh, so there was a robbed cemetery, huh? Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah.
Karzarath mentioned it on the way over here.
Oh, okay. Robbed cemetery, huh? That's
So, are
coincidental.
we able to,
I want to say coincidental.
are we able to find the mausoleum?
Yes, you are able to find the disturbed mausoleum of Ezekiel Tobin.
Okay. Okay. I guess I'm gonna make sure there's no traps awaiting us before we step inside, but then after that, I'd probably just like to investigate it really quick.
Sure. Perception for traps, I suppose. Yeah, that's for traps. 32. Okay. As you case the mausoleum, you are pretty certain that there are no traps here.
Okay. I'll gesture to everyone to go ahead and come on in.
Okay. Sound good to me.
Before going into the mausoleum, can I do a quick canvas of the outside for tracks? Or anything out of the ordinary?
If you are looking for tracks, I mean, yeah, you can look for tracks or strange things. That would be a perception check.
Dang.
It's likely that you do see some groundskeeper tracks, but otherwise, no, there do not seem to be any strange tracks. It seems the tracks from a few weeks ago have been dealt with.
Okay.
So have we gone into the
Oh,
have
yeah.
we gone into
yes.
the one that got robbed?
Yes. And as you enter the relatively small space, it has been respectfully put back together, though the tomb for Ezekiel is as empty as the one next to him, which you notice is named Nualia Tobin. It is still a respectful place of rest. It doesn't immediately apparently look that anything is disturbed since it was fixed from the goblin raid.
I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary here, guys. I'm missing
What does
something?
what is it? I mean, is it still desecrated, like fully desecrated?
I mean,
Or did they just rob it as opposed to breaking the tomb?
none of the tomb is broken.
That's interesting.
Karzarath, looking in, would see the missing, used up robes that were used to create the skeletal fighters when they when the group first showed up. But everything has been cleaned, dust swept away, and lids put back on coffins. So,
Oh.
So hold on. It seems like it was burgled, but everything was put back into place.
well,
Or like
relatively
displaced.
put back.
Okay.
Should
There is no, I mean, the stone coffin is closed, so you don't know if everything was put back, but yes, it is clean and orderly in here. Sorry, Cece, go ahead.
we should probably check and make sure that all the bodies are here, considering it's probably an undead body that's walking around hurting people.
Yeah. They most likely would have pilfered the dead bodies. And they did say it was burgled. Did we get anything other than it was burgled, Karzarath?
Oh, Karzarath?
One more time?
I said, did we get any news, like, did they say specifically the graves have been robbed, or... Because you had the information about the,
It was particularly this mausoleum of some important person
Mm-hmm.
that seems to have been desecrated, and the
they
ashes
just...
stolen.
The ashes stolen. Okay. That's interesting.
Did I remember that correctly, Theater?
The bones were stolen.
Bones, I'm sorry.
The
That's
fire was not as immolatory. I don't know if that's a word. It wasn't hot enough to destroy bone. The previous chapel, but
So the bones.
the bones were taken by that goblin crew.
Okay.
That
so
is
I
what
don't
you
think
recall.
that's. I mean, is
Karzarath.
that so? Do you relay? Do you tell me about that since you know it?
I think he does.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right, awesome. So that doesn't seem related. But I mean, you know, we've been having some trouble with some damn goblins lately.
I think we're coming up on another dead end here, but I second
Gotta agree.
Cece's motion to double check the rest of the coffins here, if you could help with that fair.
Oh yeah, sure. He brings his big ass old arms and like takes one off. Is there anything? Is it missing?
You open up Ezekiel's
Just desecrating the dead, you know.
Pretty much. And enough to see inside at least. And
Yeah.
yes, there are no remains in there. There is a
Alright,
burnt
it's empty.
trinket sitting in the middle of it, but it is empty.
The remains of the trinket are there still?
This seems to be freshly placed.
Freshly
Oh.
placed. Somebody reach in there and grab that. I can't grab it while I'm holding this up.
Yeah, I can get that.
Wait, do you have gloves on?
I'm gonna kind of. That's a very good point.
Karzrath would most likely have some gloves and would be able to help do this.
Perfect. Okay, Karzarath's grabbing it.
Okay.
Do I need to roll anything?
To grab it? Or
Yeah.
to, like, identify?
You
No,
grab.
you can grab it.
Okay.
Roll for grab.
We're all freaking out.
Roll
that
for
it was
grab.
cursed.
Here's the sleight of hand.
We got
roll for grab.
CC touching people and him grabbing people, you know.
I mean, I have many ways of grabbing people if I really wanted.
And I
Fair.
ask first.
Yeah, it's very true.
I mean, I
I'm
usually
polite
grab the
about it.
wallet from people, but roll to grab.
Okay, so you pull it out. Did you get it? Okay, I'm assuming you did.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right, I'm closing the.
I'm
Yep.
getting up before he closes it.
No, you're not. Roll for initiative. Just kidding. Ha 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 ha. Fun. Yeah. So now we have a clue. Good call, Cece.
Glad I could help. There's no magic here, though, which is nice to know. But
Well, we
that
got
doesn't
some
really
sort
give
of
us a direction.
something. It looks like, well, there's no remains. That hunch was true. A little, I didn't really get a good look at it, but there was something in there. What does it look like, Karzarath?
Would it be survival to figure out what it is, or something else?
You could make a knowledge local.
No. Okay.
Oh,
I do have
snap.
local.
As a rogue, he's like, yeah, the fuck I have local.
Okay.
What the hell?
This, with an 18, this appears to be a I suppose favorable trinket of the late Ezekiel Tobin. You probably only know because you were sleuthing around one night, but you did see in his minimalistic room a couple of his affects, and among them, before the old cathedral burned, among them was this. This is this is one of his old just items. And actually, as I'd like everyone to make a perception check.
That's scary.
Yeah, everyone do it.
Damn it.
29,
Hey,
19.
double digits and even closer.
There's another flat number.
Nice. Okay, so all of you notice a rhythmic but asymmetric gait approaching, and you all look over to see a hunched over man approaching you, holding a shovel out in front of him. As you turn, he says to you about 10 feet away, "What are you all doing here?"
Investigating.
This is
You don't-
official. This is official business of the law.
And this is official business of the resting dead.
There's no dead resting in that tomb.
What he said.
And that's why we put a substitute in there.
Oh, so
But were you the one who put that in there?
Yes, I'm the one who cleaned up the bloody place.
Oh, sorry.
We'll just put it back and be on our way. Terribly sorry.
I'd much appreciate that.
Yeah, so I will go ahead and open it back up. Karzarath, if you please.
Karzarath will put it right back in because he respects the poor guy.
Sorry about that, man. We're just we're dumb as hell.
This man walks in and after the cover is put back, gets down on his knees, closes his eyes, pulls out his necklace and begins to pray.
Do I recognize the prayer he's saying?
Do you have knowledge religion?
I do.
Go
I
ahead
have
and make a
decent
knowledge
amount of
religion
ranks
check.
in it, too.
Yep.
Ah!
No, a 15 is good enough. This is a fairly common Saren Ray prayer.
oh,
Karzarath will wait for him to finish praying and then ask if he knows of anything that might have traveled through the marsh.
I don't
Like,
think he'll
things
know
like that.
anything.
Yeah. Well, you ask, and once he is finished, and all of you have been.
Karzarath waits for until he finishes
Yeah,
prayer.
and all of you have shooed out of the sanctum.
Yeah.
He will
Oh, yeah.
close the stone doors and. No, I'm afraid not. I tend to the grounds here.
Does he just
Goblin
easily
raid
close the
and-
stone doors?
No, he does not easily close the stone doors, but the stone
I'll,
doors are also not like. Well, yeah.
I'll help him out with that.
Besides the disappearance of the remains during the Goblin raid, is there anything else out of place out here?
No, nothing out of place. I make sure of that.
Or anything strange happening?
No, I do promise that nothing has happened since they raided this mausoleum. I feel a terrible guilt that I could not do anything about it. So I've made sure since then.
Well, I'm still working on looking into that issue once we get some leads.
What is the name of the goddess that he was praying to? Or saying the prayer of?
Saren Ray.
Saren Ray?
Yes.
I will very softly approach the man and say, Saren Ray appreciates all that you're doing to maintain this and the recovery. The blessing is upon you. You are doing what is right. Do not ever question that.
I do appreciate that.
The voice is
I'm
loud
trying.
and will speak positively of you.
Thank you.
But seeking out knowledge, maybe you could tell me if you recognize this symbol, and I will gesture to, because I think Karzarath has it as a
Yes.
copy of the drawing. Yeah, I will gesture to Karzarath and be like, will you show him the drawing of the symbol?
Karzrath will show the symbol.
He takes a look and absorbs the image, but shakes his head. No,
Have you
this doesn't mean anything to me.
Have you ever seen it? Is there possibly one of the gravestones here that has it on it? If anybody knows these grounds, it's you.
That I do. No, this is not a religious symbol.
That does give us some direction over none. Thank you. I appreciate your time. Keep up your good work. Saren Ray is very pleased with what you're doing.
I guess meanwhile outside, I'm gonna kind of talk to Karzarath and Ver. This contact of yours, perhaps he'd be willing to shed some light on our findings. But Officer Dedrin, it's getting late. Do you think perhaps we should patrol and maybe we'll get lucky? We'll let our party talk to their contact while we see if we can pick up anything.
I wouldn't be against it.
Does that sound?
If we're patrolling, I'm going with.
Okay.
And so it
We probably
begins.
plan to just stay within the city limits, but that's fair.
Sure. Okay.
And that's a really good point. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in patrolling the area around the lumber mill.
Okay.
Murderers always come back to the scene of the crime.
Mm,
Let us part ways
Well,
for
I
now.
didn't.
And see. That brings up some questions for your backstory.
Right.
Holy shit. Let us part ways for now and meet back in the tavern and say 2 hours or so. We'll see what
Okay.
kind of information everybody has gathered from there. Karzarath, will you come with me? We need to go see Kalar.
Of course.
all right, journey safely.
You as
You
well.
know what? Saying this out of character, but it's funny. Hey, Ver, why don't we patrol down towards that wizard, huh? Let's patrol
Yeah, let's
that way.
just patrol on down the road.
Yeah.
All right.
Sound good to
So
me.
you guys are heading down to good old Rum Street, I think,
Time to sell my soul.
and you all are going to the House of Blue Stone. Let's go with Cece and Karzarath first.
All right.
All right, sounds like a plan.
You make your way. Takes a few minutes to get to the other side of town. Crowds are definitely quieting down. Mostly just party goers or drunkards out at this point. And you make your way to number 19, the House of Bluestone.
Yep.
Um,
I don't even knock. I try the handle. If it's unlocked, I go inside.
It is within there are some polished stones underneath your feet as you enter, and you may accidentally step onto a reed mat. As you do so, a female voice approaches. Excuse me, may I help you?
Hello, we're looking for Kalar. Is he available?
Right. Please wait outside. And she will pretty much just stand there until you either try to convince her to stay or step outside.
It's getting dark, and with the things that have happened on the streets, I would be inclined to request to stay inside. We'll stay by the door. We won't go any further.
Go ahead and make a diplomacy check.
Okay. I shall.
Show us
26.
26.
As expected of the face.
That is acceptable. Please try to keep your mess to a minimum. I will return shortly. And she goes off to a corner and down some steps. And not but a minute later, up comes Kalar. And looking across the room, sees you all. Well, you two. Cece, it's so nice to see you again.
It's a pleasure to see you too. Sorry for visiting so late. And unfortunately, this is under rather intense circumstances. We need your help.
That's alright. Just doing some bedtime research. What can I be of assistance of?
Karzarath, will you show him the symbol?
Karzeth will nod and show the symbol.
Have you seen this in any of your studies at all?
Well, I do remember it from down in the caverns. But, I think I do remember a little bit about that symbol. I just remember that it's very, very old. I have been conversing with a few of the other people here, and maybe we could go talk to Brodert to get some more information.
Sure, that would be wonderful. And she starts to take a step forward, and then she stops and she jumps back, and she's like, I promised the mean lady that I wouldn't step inside. They said I would
He
stay
does
by the
like
door.
the clean stones. They are very pretty when clean. And
She looks down
Hey,
at
he-
like her mud-covered feet, and she's like, oops.
we will get it clean. I like helping out with that. Sable, I will return. And Sable just nods. And Kalar will escort you all out, and the three of you can make your way following Kalar towards this building right here. Number 8. And it is twilight at this point, but Kalar seemingly just goes ahead and knocks on the front. Hello? Brodart! And you hear some clanging from inside and hear a bit of mumbling and see a light turn on, and then opening the door is this fellow. Uh-oh, get out of the way. Token layer. And then I think it's Shift-C? Shift-C. This old fellow pokes his head out with heavy bags under his eyes. What do you want?
Azrath will show him the symbol.
The bags seemingly vanish from underneath his eyes as they widen, and he reaches out and grabs the symbol from you. Ooh, I know this. And he walks in, leaving the door open, not gesturing for you guys to come in, but the door is open. Doesn't really do much.
1,000,000% walks in.
Yep.
Okay.
Azrath would help lead her.
And Kalar would absolutely too. Okay.
Yep, this old man with info is not getting away.
This is interesting. Where have you seen this sigil?
A couple places, actually. Thanks to Kalar, we remembered. It down in this tunnel tomb area, and then I don't know if you've
Wasn't
heard
it at
about
the mill?
Well, Kalar saw it first. Remember, we were down in the tunnels. This was one of the symbols that was down there.
Right.
And then we saw it at the mill on the unfortunate body of the person, of one of the people who died.
Oh, dear me. Does that make this a murder mystery?
Technically.
Yes, and we are part of the dedicated team to solve that mystery, and we are in need of your help.
We are also the heroes you may have heard of.
Oh. Yes. Well, I am happy to help. Now,
Great.
see, this is an interesting symbol you've got here. It's a very poignant symbol from a lost civilization. This civilization built the old light, and he points outside to the tall, standing lighthouse. Well, it's not standing; it's definitely busted, but you know.
Lighthouse?
No, not the lighthouse. That, my dear friends, was an ancient weapon.
A weapon?
Yes. A giant statue that breathed fire on enemies. I know it to be true.
Well, why is it
Well,
no longer a weapon?
Well, Thassalon fell, clearly. Now, most sages place the height of the Thessalonian Empire at 7,000 to 8,000 years ago, but I think it was no sooner collapsed than 10,000 years in the past.
Dang.
I have studied carvings from all over, and I know a lot about Thassalon. It was a vast empire, ruled by powerful wizards. They were the ones that built this giant guardian temple.
Is this one of the wizard symbols? Is that how you recognize it?
That one actually has a few purposes.
Like what?
Well, it seems to be one of the most important runes of Thassalon. The star itself is known as the Sihedron rune, and it signifies not only the 7 virtues of rule, but also the 7 schools of magic recognized by Thassalon.
Oh.
Now, from what I have learned is that the leaders of Thassalon were far from virtuous, and perhaps the classic mortal sins rose from corruption of that Thassalon virtue. In any event, the Sihedron rune was certainly a symbol of power. One that may well have stood for and symbolized the empire itself. If there was a murder with that carved into the flesh of a victim, perhaps the murderer could be a scholar as well. I am innocent! It is not me!
Sense motive.
That's motive!
Let's go right ahead. You 3, well, 2.
Yeah, I'm not there.
Kalar will as well.
My computer's lagging a little bit. 16. Karzarat's on this. He's like, what's up with you?
He's like, oh, really? Not you, huh?
Okay, 25 and 2 16s. That's pretty good. As open and informed as he is about this, he's got to be innocent. Like, this senile old man, no way that he is. It seems pretty clear that he actually is innocent, but he says it in such a way in case you weren't clear that he was innocent.
So obviously you know a lot about this, and if this is a specific symbol that signifies the 7 major arcane magics, what would be... I'm trying to think of how to word this. What would be a magic that could make an undead travel from place to place? And how far would you need to be to make that happen?
Does the undead have to remain in one piece?
No, I suppose not.
Well, then it could just be necromancy. Delete it and then summon it somewhere else.
Is there
You-
Is there any calling signs that people used to display in the past that were subtle, but would allow them to know that somebody else was also part of this group? Did they have tattoos? Did they have specific markings? Did they have a code phrase that they used to say?
Oh, that is a bit beyond my wheelhouse. I will say, much of what I can say is a bit of conjecture. As far as slang and contemporary ways of life, I am not quite sure.
Do you know, based off of your own studies, if any of the lineage still exists?
Oh, certainly not. Anyone and everyone from Thassalon is long gone, and I do not believe that there would be any lineage. The language has nearly died off as it is. But I am a smart one.
Yeah. How are you a smart one?
Well, I can study it.
Do you think you can teach me some of it so I can recognize it if I see it?
Well, I can give you the 7 symbols associated. You will have to give me a moment. And then he, without further instruction, rustles through some things and pulls out some paper and some ink and begins to draw down some some very interesting symbols, one of which you actually recognize immediately as calling symbol. And
That's what?
Cece's calling symbol. She was brought to Sandpoint for a reason and with a symbol in mind.
Oh my god!
And let's just bring them down here, I suppose. There's that one. And this one. I am bringing them down to the bottom right.
As he's doing this, I will lean over to Karzarath and say, do you have any questions you want to ask him?
Not sure. Like my mind is drawing a blank.
Well, we know where he lives, and this seems to be his favorite topic, so I'm pretty sure he'll talk to us about it again.
He doesn't die from lack of sleep before then.
Well, maybe he sleeps during the day.
While he is doing his scribblings, he calls out, "No, you have interrupted my sleep." Not looking up from his drawings.
Well, we appreciate this, and if you are open to a conversation some other time, maybe during the day when you are not sleeping, may we pop over for a visit?
I would much prefer it.
But-
But here you go. These are the 7 symbols, the runes, for the sins and virtues.
Can you label what they are, so we're all not lost?
Yes, of course. Well, this first one is, just make sure. Oh shoot, those are out of line. That's fine. This first one is mirrored by the virtue of charity, but the sin of envy. this second one is of the virtue of temperance, but the sin of gluttony. This third one, with the little hand here, yes, looks like a hand, is the virtue of generosity, but the sin of greed. And this fourth one, this is the virtue of love, but the sin of lust. And this fifth one here is the virtue of humility, but is the sin of pride. And this one here, this one laying down, yes, is the virtue of zeal, but is the sin of sloth. And this last one, which you actually recognize, CC, this is symbolized by the virtue of kindness, but the sin of wrath.
That's my favorite.
Interesting.
This basically
Wonder-
says, the last one essentially says to me that fuck around to kind people and you'll feel their fucking wrath.
I mean, they're not wrong. He just kind of says that in a really, like, innocent tone. They're not wrong. Thank you so much for your help. I'm sure we'll be back to visit at a more convenient hour with some friends who may have some additional questions as well. Your studies are going to go above and beyond what you probably ever thought that they would mean, but you are helping out tremendously, and we will definitely let you get back to sleep. But thank you so much for your time and for everything you have done, and hopefully you would be willing to do much more in the future.
Yes, please do, in the day.
Daytime,
Before
yes.
we head out,
100%.
I did have one last question that I just thought of. If it was in fact necromancy and they dismissed a undead, does it disappear? Like, how does that work?
Are you asking that to Brodert himself?
Yes.
Well, I suppose it depends on the type of summoning and what materials were present. Skeletons raised from a skeletal form will often simply fall back to pieces. However, a skeleton animated for centuries may dissolve into dust, or perhaps if it is created out or pulled from another plane, it may simply return to that plane.
What about something made of flesh?
Flesh? Well, there are many kinds of undead, so that could be extrapolated to fleshy undead too.
Do you have any tips or tricks in spotting an undead that was sent from another plane?
Oh, no, I do not.
That is completely fine. You have been more than helpful and very gracious for opening up your home to us, but I really do think the three of us should depart and let you go back to bed, and we need to get back to the meetup with our cohorts.
Wonderful. You may let yourself out. And then he goes back to bed and turns out the lights regardless of whether you've left or not.
That was...
Close the door too.
Yes, of course. We'll even lock it. And as we step outside and shut the door, I'm like, Karsrath, would you lock the door?
Got it. So essentially disable device, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, just tinker the tools.
Just
Yeah, you lock the door. And then Kalara is
Enable
just like,
device.
what would be even funnier is if there was no way to unlock it from the other side unless you had the key, and we just essentially locked him into the room.
Whoops.
and then Kalara just kind of says, "Quite the guy, isn't he?"
Yeah, he is definitely full of unexpectedly useful information. Thank you for introducing us.
Of course.
I'm sure we'll be in touch, but we need to get back to the tavern and meet up with everybody. I hope you get some sleep tonight. Sorry to wake you.
That's perfectly all right.
And with that, and a brief goodbye, Cece will start towards the tavern.
Okay, and we will have to pick up Ver's sword in the next session, actually, as we have run out of time.
All right.
I very much appreciate everyone being here. And we will see everyone the next time.
And I will be in a new house.
Yay!
Nice.
Great game, as always, Dieter. That was so much fun. Can't wait to see what the next session holds. Hopefully we can get into some new fights. We're going to have a new sword. We have 2 new companions with us. I feel like we finally have a little bit of direction, which is awesome.
And we
But
know
for now-
we're beginning to know our enemies.
Exactly. But for now, everybody say goodbye to YouTube.
Goodbye,
Goodbye,
YouTube.
YouTube.
Bye, YouTube. Happy dungeon delving, everyone.